Hey everyone, this is Caitlin.
And this is Lacey.
And this is Women in the Trailer Industry. Today we're going to talk a little bit about expectation versus reality, perception, and really how to combat those and what that looks like to other people.
Yeah. Thought Scarlet was going to say something. I was waiting for her to say it. Yeah. So perception, man. So I was just coming in this morning and I was thinking about, and my first reaction was perception is everything. And then I thought about it some more and I was like, no, perception's very important. It's not everything, but it's so super important. Just so that, especially whenever you are in a manager's position or a leadership position, and what you say and how you say it, the perception of the counterpart to that is so important that it comes across in the right way, because everybody has their own perceptions of something. And so I think that's just something that I've learned over time, just being in leadership positions, is we talk about it sometimes, like when Tyler, who is the owner, when he says something to us, what our perception of that is. And so when he says something like, this would be really cool, for a long time, our perception was, all right, we're flipping the book. We're doing it right now. We're getting it done. And it's taken a long time just to know how to work through that. But you have to honestly think about it that way. Like when you say something, how you say it to somebody else, how are they going to perceive it? Mm-hmm. How are they going to take it? And what are they going to do with it? So, I mean, I just think that's really important.
Yeah. And definitely you say it's, not the most important. I definitely think it's 50-50, like perception versus reality. Yeah. Right. And like you said this morning, you were a bit late this morning. Yeah. And so you're like having epic meltdown or whatever. And that's your reality, but everyone else's perception of it is, maybe not that, right? Yeah. So as humans, I feel like we also maybe over exaggerate or overinflate like something that's really happening, and we make our lives more difficult because we think everybody's worried about this thing and they're not. So that's one thing of perception. And then the next one is, that expectation versus reality. So what are we doing to making ourselves clear in our environment and in our leadership? And then what is someone else's reality? I think in a past seminar, I had heard like the gap and misunderstanding happens in the gap of what someone's expectation is and then what that other person's reality is, like how clean a room is, and what that actually meant to one person versus what it means to another. Mm-hmm. And so that really, in a leadership role, that just really speaks to you, is what I am saying insinuating the right thing of what I want, and are they understanding it that way? Yeah. And is it clear and not any gray area?
Right, for sure. And I think the expectation is just something that you have to really be clear about, because if you know what you mean, no one else can really read your mind, right? So of course there's a task that needs to be done, there's a job that needs to be done, there's a sale that needs to be made. But if you don't set your expectation and say, like, this is what I expect out of your process, this is what I'm going to be looking for, I think whenever those times come, whenever you're not seeing it and you make a comment, so whatever that comment may be, like if I make a comment to my sales team, like about whatever the process is that they're doing, if I make that comment, I need to be sure that that comment is going to be taken the right way. And so if I didn't set my expectation to begin with, and I make a comment about how they're making sales or what they're not doing about sales, then they're going to perceive it as, oh crap, she's mad. Who's getting fired? Like that's how it's going to play out. And that's how it's going to be. And you don't want that. So you want to make sure that, especially, I mean, it took me a long time to realize that just like Tyler's word is like stone to us, what we say is taken that way from our team. So we need to make sure that what we're saying is more like that it's going to be perceived the right way. But that can't be perceived the right way unless we set that foundation. And so, I mean, but reality is always going to be reality too. Yeah. So that's always going to be that kind of that gap area that you're trying to maneuver and find out.
And I think it's constantly learning and discovering people and things like that too. You're talking about comments and, we try to connect with our people and things like that. And we're not in the rooms with them all day. So we don't have the inside jokes. And then we say something and we think it's funny and we're trying to connect with them. But then it's like, it spirals into something else because they made an inference off that. So just that perception and just, you know, at the end of the day, do what you need to do. And work with the best intention, but just be wary and aware of what people are perceiving from what you're saying.
And also I think that speaks volumes to just the teams that you're in. So in our situation, just like you just said about we're not in the room every day with them. Well, we are with each other in leadership mostly every day. We're talking about something every day. So where we can make a comment to each other and know what that means. And so it's almost like our inside jokes. Yeah. Not that we're going around joking, but like we all understand the context. We understand what we're talking about. Yeah. And so making sure that whenever you are saying something to your fellow leadership members, that it's not being overheard by others because that perception is going to be across the board of how that's taken. And so I think it's just important to know, like, no matter what position you're in, what you say matters. We say that so much. And so just make sure that what you're saying is it's gonna flow the right way down. It's gonna trickle the right way.
Yeah, and I'm really smiling hard right now because it makes me laugh. Like, I guess when a group of people are talking and, you know, I want to say something, and then like I'm sitting here debating, like I have this really awkward smile going on.
Internal debate with yourself.
And I'm sitting there like, I don't know if I'm going to speak, but then I have this smile on. And so I'm pretty sure they probably think
And you do that all the time. They're always like, I know what they're thinking. Like, what are you thinking right now?
We just happened outside. Like, I don't know what was happening, but I was staring off into the abyss and people were talking. Yeah. I don't know what was going on, but it was just like, awkward smile. And exit left.
Keep walking. Like, and honestly, that's the hardest part too, because we are human. So we are leadership. That's the hard part is you have to know that everything you say affects others. And so you have to kind of gauge when's the right time to interject and when is not. And could you be playful and it be taken as playful, or is it not going to be taken that way? So I think that's the hardest part in a management leadership position is others are looking for they're looking for your approval. Basically, that's what they're always looking for. And so if you make a joke and it's, you know, so off topic or whatever it is, they're looking like, what do you think that meant? Like, what do you think they really thought about that? And it couldn't be totally surface level for us, you know, like, but it's hard. It's hard to maneuver that because you want to be involved and invested, and we are, but to know what to say and when to say it. So
I definitely feel like I've learned the hard way. Like I can't joke about certain things because someone takes it wrong somewhere.
It will be taken wrong. Yeah.
And not necessarily in a bad way, but of course, as culture and society, we have to start figuring out how to make jokes that aren't pointed towards someone or something. And so I think that's definitely a learning curve for everyone is like, how do we communicate that's not derogatory all the
and there's
time,
definitely a difference too. I think you hit on it a lot as far as like the gossip, the line of like what's gossiping and what is playful, professional. I think professional is an important word there. Playful, professional encounters. And I think that it's just, you just have to think through it. And you can't just, you're not sitting in a backyard around a campfire. You're at work, right? So it's different, and you just have to think about it.
And so, you know, to sum up, just really making sure your expectations are clear to your coworkers or the people that you're leading. Try to make it as black and white as possible and not have a bunch of gray area, and just really making sure that their reality is living, you know, what your expectations are, or else you're never going to agree, basically, or each of y'all will never get there because y'all are constantly living in different zones.
Yeah. And also that model trickles down. So whatever you set and expect, you're setting up a model and a foundation for that's what they should expect. Or they should set their expectations, not that they should expect the same things as you, but they should also set their expectations with others, their teammates or whoever that might be. So you're really the model of what they should be doing too. And you should be acting in that. So, I mean, it's just super important.
Awesome. Well, that's all we had for expectations. We have NATDA coming up, and that is in August, and we're super excited for that. We now have the Women in the Trailer Industry Committee, and so that's super exciting.
So exciting.
I'm sure we'll have a podcast to introduce the members and everything of that soon. So stay tuned to that. And then just be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and watch us anywhere you stream your podcast.
Yeah, don't forget about Juan at Full Send as well, to follow him too.
Great. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.